You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Welcome to the PHOD, the Practical Horseman podcast mini-sode series where we share audio clips from our favorite Practical Horseman On Demand videos. At Practical Horseman On Demand, you can enjoy hundreds of how-to videos and get insider access to exclusive interviews and lectures, slow motion demonstrations, and step-by-step tutorials taught by top-level pros in the hunter, jumper, equitation, and eventing disciplines. Head over to practicalhorsemanondemand.com and use promo code PHODPOD for 15% off when you sign up. That's practicalhorsemanondemand.com and promo code PHODPOD. That's PHOD for 15% off. On this week's episode, 5-star event rider and ICP Level 4 certified instructor Ashley Johnson helps a young rider moving up to preliminary level with the skills necessary to have a successful show jumping round in competition. The emphasis is on exercises to control the bigger stride needed and the more electric atmosphere of the show. Now, enjoy the clip.
Cantering the circle. So we're going to do some working and then some lengthening as he goes into the bigger step. Do you feel your hip swing following through? I want your hip swing to follow through and your shoulder to go behind your hip for part of the step. So really sit back more. You're fine. Sit back behind your hip a little there. Like I'm trying to get you, you're in front of your hip, you're in front of that, you're crouched. You're tight in your hip flexor every step. And so that's going to make it more limited how much influence you're going to have on his back through your seat. So I'm trying to get you to open your seat a little bit more and open your upper body so that you can use your seat a little bit better. Good. Every time when you're going to that side of the circle, do you feel him running through the right aid? How about a little counterflexion this time? Good. Counterflexion. Just a little counterflexion. Good. And then one more time. Good. Bigger canter. Good. And then smaller canter. Ride both sides of his body. Both sides of his body. Squeeze and release the right rein. Yes. And then one more time as you come around. Maintain. A little flexion to the outside. Little flexion. Good. Vibrate. Vibrate. Better. Flexion to the inside. Good. Bigger canter. Allow your elbow to come more forward. Yeah, and you make your circle bigger. Stay seated. Make your circle bigger. And large there. Large canter. There. And then through your calves and through your thigh, collect the canter. Collect the canter. Good, good, good. Yes, good job. So, compared to the last time that you jumped the Discover Ocala, he did not add, he jumped open. He jumped from a further away distance with a lot of power. Yeah. Did you feel that? Yeah. So you got to almost the same spot, but the last time he chose to add because he didn't have the power. Yeah. This time you had a way better canter. Mm-hmm. So then he's like, oh, I'm going to leave the ground really far away. Yeah. Which, you know, ideally you have that canter and you get his feet a little closer, yeah. But I'll take that. That was an improvement. Okay. And then in here, I like that you let him come forward, yeah. But you had to change the canter. Mm-hmm. And you had to change the canter because what did he do to the first jump? He was underpowered, so that's what he added to it. And maybe he wasn't underpowered, but he wound up very close to it. Okay. So then he kind of landed in a heap, and then you've got to fire him. Yeah. So we're going to do the same 3 jumps again. Now we're working on consistency, but you've got to have the consistency with more. You can't just say, oh, he's on a steady rhythm with this horse, because if he may not be the level of RPM that you need. You have to say he's on a steady rhythm and we have RPM.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the PHOD Pod. For unlimited access to more lessons like this, sign up for Practical Horseman On Demand at practicalhorsemanondemand.com and use promo code PHODPOD, that's PHOD, POD, to get 15% off. Thanks again for listening.